Hello and welcome to FitFlow Yoga. This is a myofascial release how-to protocol for your quads and your hamstrings. I'll show you a couple different versions, one with a myofascial ball and a block, and the other with a foam roller. Whatever you have in your house works. The foam roller will be a little less targeted and maybe a little less intense than the myofascial ball. So why don't we start with our hamstrings? So first option, you can either use a block underneath your ball or just the ball. And maybe come to like a wide-legged forward fold or wide-legged seated straddle, or maybe even one leg in. And you'll place the ball underneath your hamstring here. Maybe you start somewhere in the middle here and you begin to roll forward and backwards, sliding your leg across the ground to really find an area that's tender. You can also maybe cross fiber side to side by kind of using your leg here as a hinge, as if it maybe is on a gate. Once you find a spot, maybe you find stillness. Maybe you begin to fold over your right leg. That might make things a little more intense. And pause, maybe holding for 60 to 90 seconds, wherever you're at, with your maybe medium compression here. Turning your awareness towards your breath, and maybe any places that you feel sensation here. Relax as much as you can against the ball. Take a few more breath cycles. And slowly begin to rise up. Maybe you take another moment here to maybe find a different area. Maybe another tender spot here along your hamstring. Finding the area, you can see mine maybe is right around here. And once again, pausing, adding some gentle compression. So far, we've done a little bit of rolling, maybe a little bit of cross fibering to kind of zone in on the area. And slowly rise up. We'll find the left leg now. So we'll take your myofascial ball and place it underneath your opposite hamstring, either finding your wide-legged seated straddle legs or maybe one leg tucked in. Taking a few moments here to maybe roll forward and backward. Maybe cross fibering side to side to find an area that's a little more tender. Ooh. Maybe you stay seated or maybe you fold a little forward. This one might be a little more tender for me than the opposite side. Working to relax and release any tension you may have along your hamstring and your entire left leg. A couple more breaths here. And then slowly rising back up. From here, maybe you spend another moment searching for maybe another area. Maybe finding a spot that's just as tender, maybe a little less tender. Finding your compression, maybe a medium pressure here. The option of folding forward. Once again, on this side, we've now added rolling and cross fibering. We'll slowly rise up. So remove your ball and place it to the side. If you have a foam roller, A longer foam roller is sometimes nice for this, but you can always use a smaller one and do one leg at a time. The other option here is to bring the foam roller here under your hamstrings, maybe not underneath the knee, but maybe just above that. And we're going to maybe keep the foam roller where it's at. Let our legs become heavy on the foam roller and send our legs from side to side here. So the goal here is to add in some shearing. So some gliding from the layers underneath along the foam roller. So make your legs heavy. Let them glide across, maybe not moving, but just rubbing against your foam roller. Maybe do this 8 or 10 times. And then we'll roll up just a bit. As you get higher, you may want to lay down. It may be a little bit easier for you, but whatever works. Once again, finding the shearing side to side glide. Letting your legs be heavy. And maybe after 8 or 10 more, you roll it one more time. Roll the foam roller as close to your glutes as possible. And we'll do the same thing. This is a great warm up to do before any lower body hamstring intensive exercise. Awesome. And from here, set your foam roller aside. We may use it later. And we'll move on to the quads. So for the front area here of the thigh, so we'll first start off with a myofascial ball. If this is too intense or maybe too targeted, you can always use your opposite leg and prop yourself up so not as much weight or pressure is on the ball. This will be less intense. It's kind of like a pigeon leg, but your thigh is on top of your calf rather than your shin and calf coming across your mat. But to begin, you can extend both legs long and see how this works, kind of starting in somewhat of a sphinx pose. You'll take your myofascial ball and you'll place it maybe a couple inches above your knee, starting in the middle here of your quad. Maybe taking a few small movements, maybe just an inch or two up and down, and then adding some side to side to find an area that works. You can always first few moments here, just pausing in stillness. Like I said, some of these may be kind of intense, so when we use the foam roller later, it's a little less targeted, a little less pinpointed. So option to stay here in compression or begin to lift and lower your left foot, bending at your knee. Maybe you can feel the glide underneath the ball of your fascial layers underneath. Taking 8 to 10 bends, and then maybe moving a couple inches down. So now the ball may be closer to the middle of your thigh. Maybe adding in some cross fibering, sending your leg from side to side. Maybe rolling just a couple, maybe 2 inches up and down to find a better spot, something tender that you can work with. And then from here, option for compression, or begin to bend and straighten, bending at the knee. Once again, working to become heavy here in your left thigh. If we're clenching and we're holding tension, that's not going to help. So working to release any tension you may be holding is key. You'll take maybe one more of these, shooting for maybe 8 to 10 total. And then we'll continue to move the ball up. Maybe you roll I'm about to roll off of my mat though, so I will just move it up with my hand. Maybe finding something in the top third here, but not bringing the ball too close here to maybe the fold or the crease here. So once you find one more area, I bet you know what to do. First, find compression. And maybe add some bending and straightening. Ooh, I found a sweet spot here. I'll take maybe 3 more bends and straightens. Awesome. And then begin to remove the ball, maybe lower down onto. So notice any differences you may feel between your 2 quads. Maybe one feels. And then we'll do the other side. For the other side, you can continue on with your myofascial ball, or I'll show you the same thing but with the foam roller. Turn around so you can see a little bit better. So essentially with the foam roller, we're going to be placing it just above the knee as if the first spot that we were placing the myofascial ball. This one is a little bit easier if you use kind of the thigh on top of calf pigeon leg. Maybe come down to your forearms. Find your first spot by rolling just a little bit up and down. You'll pin it down and then you'll begin to bend into your right knee, just as if we were using the myofascial balls. If the pinning and the bending is too much, you're always welcome to have compression and stay with the compression. Maybe begin to move yours up to maybe mid-thigh here. Finding maybe another tender location. And pausing as you bend and straighten. Or find compression, whatever works best for you. Awesome. And then maybe working one more spot in the upper third here. Staying away from the hip crease. Pausing and bending and straightening. Remember, working to release any tension you may be holding. Maybe 2 more here. Awesome. Then place your foam roller or your myofascial balls aside. Extend your legs long. Lower down onto your belly. Pausing for just a moment. Sending your awareness towards your legs. And maybe you acknowledge the differences you felt last time between the 2 legs. And notice if those differences are still present. We'll take another inhale and exhale. Then slowly begin to rise back up towards your seat. And thank you so much for joining me for this myofascial release how-to. I hope you're able to attend another class soon. Thank you and have a great day.